What's going on, guys? Campfire Nate here, talking about Walking Dead. Last night's episode, there wasn't a whole lot going on. There was a lot of Rick and Michonne, having sex at carnivals and finding food and guns, and then taking it back to the group who's already shady and them giving them well, that's not enough, we want more. But there was two things that happened at the very end, two things that were kind of interesting, probably more important to the story than anything. You had Tara finally decide, it looks like, to tell Rick about, Oceanside and all their guns, which I'm going to talk about in a second. And probably the more important is the fact that Rosita and Sasha look like they're on a mission. And they got a plan, and it is to kill Negan. Now that's what we're going to talk about a little bit later. But before I talk about Sasha and Rosita, the one thing that is driving me crazy, and always drives me crazy, and it's the storytelling device of so-and-so knows something, but they're going to wait just until the right moment to finally talk about it. And this is Tara. She's held this information. She had multiple times to tell them about Oceanside, but she keeps holding it to herself. It's annoying. It drives me crazy. It's one of the most frustrating things when TV shows or movies do something like, well, I'm gonna keep this information to myself, but maybe I'll tell them later. It's lazy and it frustrates me. And I'm so glad that hopefully it's out there and we can be done with that and we can move on to more important things. Speaking of more important things, let's talk about what's going on with Rosita and Sasha. We're going to talk about that right now. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on with Rosita and Sasha. And then I'm going to get a little spoilery because I'm going to dive into the comics a little bit and share some information. So I'll give you a warning. But basically, it looks like Sasha and Rosita are deciding they're going to go after Negan. And, they got the gun. We already know Sasha's a really good shot. So, maybe they're going to try to assassinate him. Try to get just close enough. That's how it looks. So immediately you're thinking, well, this probably isn't a good idea because we've already seen that the compound at the sanctuary is immensely fortified. And now they got Eugene over there helping them make it even more fortified. So the immediate thought is this doesn't sound good. We're probably going to be in bad for both them, Sasha and Rosita. So now I'm going to talk about the comics. And the comics are a little spoilery. And then I'm going to give you some more information that's even more spoilery. So if you don't want to hear it, stop listening now. Okay, now we're going to talk about it. In the comics, Sasha does not exist in the comics. Okay, I think I've mentioned that before, but if you didn't know, Sasha doesn't exist in the comics. She's a character that they created on the show. But what does exist in the comics is a character named Holly. And it's funny because if you remember back in, I want to say the episode when the wolves attacked Alexandria, there was a girl with blonde hair. They brought her in. Denise tried to save her, but she died, and they said her name was Holly. That was kind of a little homage to the comics because they decided not to actually address that character in the show because they were going to give that storyline to someone else. Now, in the comics, Holly decides to do something very similar, go on a suicide mission, if you will, with no chance of wanting to actually survive, to go after Negan. It's a long process. She goes, she crashes into the facility. She tries to bring walkers into the sanctuary. It doesn't go well. She gets caught. And ultimately, in the end, she doesn't make it back. So, without getting into any details, I'm not sure, but it feels like they're doing sort of a spin on that now. Except this time, they have both Rosita and Sasha wanting to go after Negan. So, with them both going after Negan, you have to think to yourself, is it possible that they're both going to die? That they're both going to wind up going on this suicide mission and then both not make it back? Well, I think maybe not both. I think it's more realistic that one of them's not going to make it. And unfortunately, if you keep up with kind of like what's going on in TV shows and stuff like that, it really points directly at Sasha being the one that doesn't make it back. For people who don't know, the lady the actress who plays Sasha was signed on to be the lead role in the new Star Trek television show. So, if she's going to do a television show and be the lead, kind of points towards the possibility that she might not be making it back from the sanctuary. Now, we all know that the guy that plays Heath also is on a TV show, so it's possible. So what do you guys think? Do you think that this Mission Impossible that Sasha and Rosita are on, do you think it's going to end good? Do you think it's going to end bad? Do you think it's going to end really bad? It could. They both could be dead. Everything could go to crap. Who knows? But I want to know what you think. What do you think? How do you feel about this mission? Does it make you kind of worry? Or does the information I just gave you make you worry even more? Or at the end of the day, do you think, yeah, it's going to work out? You know, they're totally going to get Negan. I don't know. Let me know what you think. And until next time, we'll see you later.